Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium, and really and truly what I'm going to be doing today is demystifying some things about auras and seeing auras. Now, I would tell you that I am the great demystifier because I am the psychic medium that teaches you how to do these things without all the pomp, the secrecy, whatever it is. No, that's just a bunch of bull hockey. You come to my channel because I'm going to make it simple, and I'm going to make it real, and I'm going to make it accessible. Today happens to be a video series of that I do called Wow Wisdom on Wednesdays. You can find that video series on my main channel. Click the logo. You'll go there. You'll go to playlist. You'll go to Wow, and you'll find dozens, if not over 80 videos on everything spiritual, from Sasquatch to soul contracts to raising your vibration to UFOs and aliens to things like how to see auras. Now, let's get to the demystification of how to see auras because, me. So my backstory very quickly is that I'm a medium. I could see ghosts when I was a kid, but that's not anything cool. Seeing ghosts is not cool. I don't care if you think it's cool or not. As a kid, it wasn't cool. I didn't realize I was psychic. I spent my whole life knowing I could see ghosts. Thanks, spirit. I got a useless, I got a useless gift. And I never knew I was psychic, you guys. I never knew. It's the same thing with auras. You don't know you can do these things until you switch the on button on. And here's the thing, the on button is different for all of us, right? So I'm sure if you're into metaphysical things, you've probably seen somebody or heard somebody tell you, this is how you see an aura. Or perhaps you were born with the ability to see auras. Your on button was switched on, just like my on button for ghost was switched on, or maybe it was left on at the factory. You know what I mean? I don't know, but it was something I was born with. When you're born with things like that, your role, your job in this lifetime is to learn to turn it off, is to learn how to turn it on and off, how to put up boundaries, how to use it. But if your on button is off, then you want to know, how do I turn it on, right? I've got lots of videos on how to talk to your spirit guides, how to do all this stuff. Check out the playlist. But today, we're going to talk about auras. Now, auras are energy. This is really funny, actually, because I didn't even think about this until yesterday when I was walking my dog and I saw these plants, and my spirit guide said, you can see the aura of the plant. And I said, no, I really cannot see the aura of this plant. I'm not that person, right? And then they said, yes, you can. And well, I mean, I'll just save you the whole thing of me getting into an argument with my spirit guides, but they said, you're not basically, you're not using your abilities, or you're not, I mean, let's just say it what it was. They were saying you're not listening. So when I decided to listen and not be a 2-year-old adult, they said, do it like this. And I said, oh, that's all you have to do, right? So many times I'll teach you both ways, okay? I'll teach you my way. And this is another thing about me. I took all these classes when I was younger. I was always the oddball. I always did things differently, even mediumship. When I was taking mediumship classes, I don't want to just look at somebody and go, oh, I see this woman who's got gray hair and she's really plump and she's showing me some crochet that she did, and she's wearing glasses and she has green eyes. I don't want to try to play guess who this relative is, because frankly, I had readings like that and I could never guess who the relative was. Instead, I just would say, tell me who you want to talk to and I'll call them up. And all my medium teachers said, you can't do that. That's impossible. That's not how it's done. And I said, well, I can do it. And I wasn't bragging. I'm just different. I'm just do things differently pretty much than a lot of people do. So here we are again. I took the aura class many years ago, and they said, stare at the wall, defocus your eyes, Now you're going to see the fuzzy aura around the person. And I could never defocus my eyes. I mean, I'm not one of those people that can see the hidden dinosaur and the dots or whatever the hell that is. Frustrates me to no end. I'd rather not be frustrated. Thank you. So I just basically skipped over this whole aura seeing thing and went about my business, right? I decided this isn't one of the things that I can do. I'm not going to worry about it, right? I'm not going to beat myself up for something that I can't do. So imagine my surprise yesterday when I'm walking past this hedge of bushes and the spirit guides are like, you can see the energy. And I'm like, no, no, I cannot. And then I said, well, do it like this. So how I'm going to suggest that you can learn how to see energy, auras. It's basically the same method that I teach people to do everything. And that is use the word imagine, or even, God forbid, use the word guess. Now, why would I tell you to guess? And how would you know you're right or wrong if you're just guessing? Well, here's the thing, you guys. Your brain is great. It's great for like stop signs and work and communication and knowing to eat, when to sleep, and all that stuff. We really do need our brain. However, when it comes to dealing with energy, your brain is not good. It's terrible. It's absolutely the worst tool to use. So when you say imagine or guess, your brain steps out and says, she's not talking to me. I'm going to take a break over here. I don't know what she's talking about. She's talking that airy fairy stuff, right? So I've told you guys a lot that if you just imagine, what would I imagine this if I'm trying to do a reading, what would I imagine this person's energy around work would be? And also for yourself. Now, when you're reading yourself, it is 1,000 times harder to read yourself than it is to read somebody else. We have it all backwards. We all think, I can't read myself, therefore I don't have any psychic or intuitive abilities. That would be wrong. Try reading other people and you'll learn that you actually have quite a bit of intuition, if not full on psychic abilities. But you're not going to learn that by reading yourself, because your brain is going to get in the way. Even me, that has a direct line to my spirit guides, I have a hard time hearing which one of these is my spirit guides and which one of these is my brain. Because if it's something in your life you're very concerned about, that's very important to you, your brain is going to be the loudest thought in your head. It's going to overpower anything. If you're at the store and you're trying to decide, do I buy this or that brand? Your brain doesn't care. That's a good time to start asking your spirit guides and learning the difference, because your spirit guides will start talking to you and you'll start figuring out, oh, that didn't come from me. I would normally not buy this brand. Why am I getting that I should buy this brand? Anything that is a challenge, that is different, that is odd, typically is not your brain. It's non-physical energy. So going back to reading energy and reading and seeing auras. So what I did was I said, okay, instead of trying to get this through my eyes now, and I'm very clairvoyant, like I'm very visual. So this should be something, I hate to should on myself, right? But this, you would think that I would be good at this because I'm very visual, but I just don't, it doesn't work for me like that. That's why I'm trying to help you with this. Just because somebody else can see auras doesn't mean you can't. It means you're not seeing auras the way they see auras. Just because somebody has intuition doesn't mean you're not intuitive. It means that your intuition comes to you in a different way than it does them. That's why we should never compare ourselves to someone else, because we're all so different. Your superpower, your intuitive power might be very different than this other person. Even me, if you're trying to compare yourself to me, I hear my spirit guides. People say, why can't I hear my spirit guides? Well, I'm different than you. Your superpower might be something different. Your intuitive sense might be something different. Every bit as relevant, every bit as powerful as mine and anybody else's. But also a big part of this is I trust it, right? So work on trusting it. So when you're trying to see energy, Like even right now, when you're watching me, you might look at me. I'm channeling this and I can't believe they're doing this, but this is what's happening. Look at me, and I know I'm wearing sort of a greenish top, depending on your monitor or screen you're looking at. But I want you to just for a second, just close your eyes and say, I see, write down the color around Susan. Just write it down. Write it in the comments. I see this color. Don't read the other comments. Just write down your color you see. Number one, you're learning to trust. You're not seeing what everybody else wrote, their answers. You're learning to trust. Number two, if you do go back and look at the comments and everybody's seeing the same color, or let's say 60% of people are seeing the same color, but you got a weird color, that doesn't mean you're wrong. It does not mean you're wrong. You could have seen my color in the future. You could have seen my color in my physical body. Everybody else could have seen my color in my energy body. I'm not making excuses. I'm telling you, this is what happens. This is how you become a better psychic. This is how you become a better intuitive. You realize it's not black and white, because if you start going about things like it's got to be this way, then you're going to be wrong a lot, because energy is multifaceted. And I find the more you're able to look at all the different angles, the deeper the message, and the deeper the message, the more meaningful it is. So, did you see my aura? Your eyes were closed. You're like, my eyes were closed, Susan. How did I see anything? Because we're not really seeing it, are we? That's part of the problem with this exercise of using your eyes to look at somebody. I'm not seeing anything in reality. I'm seeing energy. And I see energy with my third eye, not with my physical eyes. Okay? So that's also a confusing thing that happens. I can say I saw a ghost. 9 times out of 10, I didn't see it with my physical eyes. 9 times out of 10, I saw it with my third eye, but I'm processing the information because my brain is doing the best it can, God bless it, with this information of, oh, wait, you saw something. We're confused. Did she see it with her eyes? Did she see it with her brain? What just happened there? And that's why we forget the experiences that we've had, because your brain says, this makes no sense. We're going to forget this. It has no relevance to Susan's life. That's why many times we've had experiences, if you don't write them down in your handy dandy, what crazy thing just happened to me journal, you're going to forget about it. So you saw the color of my energy with your intuition. You just used a different tool. So we have these tools called our clairs. Okay. We call them psychic clairs. And we have clairvoyance, which is psychic seeing. We have claircognizance, which is psychic knowing. We have psychic hearing, which is clairauditory. We have psychic feeling, which is clairsentience. And we also have psychic smelling, which is clairalience, and clairgustance, which is psychic tasting. And I don't think I forgot any, but maybe I did. But what I'm saying to you is our energy knows to just switch it seamlessly without the brain knowing, because remember, the brain doesn't even know what the heck is happening. The brain is like, peace out, I'm going to go over here and read a book, while your intuitive senses are saying, oh, let's use our clairaudience, let's use our claircognizance, let's use our clairvoyance to get this message. And then all those things come together to give you one message. And you have no idea, because you're not thinking about it, you're not parsing it, you're not understanding it, how that came to me. So in this case, when you looked at me and you said, Susan has an aura around her, or I'm sensing the color yellow. Sensing would be clairsentience. I'm feeling the color red. Okay, whatever it is. Now, let's say that you're seeing the color X. That would be clairvoyance. So how you talk to yourself is how you're getting the information. So pay attention. I've talked about this a lot, but pay attention to how you talk to yourself because it can give you a tip. I just know that the color is this. Or sometimes we say, I get this color. To me, getting it could be clairsentience, feeling, it could be clear knowing, claircognizance. That's okay. And you don't even need to know how you got it. You don't need to know that, you guys. So now look around your room. And if you could imagine the color or the energy, again, imagine, right? Imagine the energy around your light in your ceiling. What energy is coming off of that? Is it, if you had to put a color on it, could you put a color on it? Is the energy gray? Is the energy orange? Is the energy green? What energy is coming from that light? Like when I look at my light, I see gray energy. It's a very warm light. It's not one of those sunlight lights. It's a very warm light in its color, but for some reason I get gray. Now, if I go into that energy and I think, and I just play with it, right? Just play with it. Why am I getting gray around that light? Well, what I know, again, now I know without knowing. How do you know it? You're not going to ask the question. I know without knowing that for me, gray is machine. Gray it's just a utility. It's a utility color for me, right? So you might get around your light blue for electricity. Who knows? You might get red for electricity, for hot, right? I don't know what you're going to get. Is gray right and red wrong? No, it is not. It's how I parse the information. I said, to me, that's a utility. My mind gave it the color gray. Gray is utility for me. Gray concrete floors, right? You might parse it very differently. You might be more connected to using color than I am. You may find that color is something that you can really get into, that you're looking at. Now, again, I want you to pay attention. Are you looking at what are you really looking at when you consider the energy of your light? Are you considering the electricity, or are you considering the function? Right? So you have to kind of pay attention. Like, so for me, whatever color you got could mean that I see this color around Susan, and now I'm feeling like, now you can Google the colors or you can intuit what it means and then Google the color. I'm intuiting this color, and for me, I feel like this means XYZ. Okay. So now you can go from there to looking at everything in your house and kind of flip on this switch of energy. Look at your blinds, look at your curtains, look at your windows, look at the floor, look at the ceiling register, look at your plants. What's going on with your plants energetically? Because once you open up, what you're doing is you're opening up a new connection. Because remember, your brain is over there. So now you're saying, oh, I'm going to open up. When you open up to your plants, you might actually get the impression, the idea, the thought, the knowing, whatever, that it's thirsty. That thirst might come in your throat. You might be like, oh, I'm thirsty. No, the plant's thirsty. You were looking at the energy, trying to read the aura of the plant, but because you were open, all your senses were now available to get information from that plant. Okay. And that's why I wanted to make that. I wanted to explain how that could happen if you're getting something different regarding the plant. But now I want you to specifically look at the plant and see, do you see jagged lines? If you were to imagine energy as lines around an object, any object, are they straight lines? Are they wavy lines? Are they jagged lines? Are they soft? Are they hard? Is there anything besides a line? Is there like a filler, like a matter, like a gray or any kind of color matter between the line and the thing? This is an exercise, okay? Your muscles are not going to be very strong doing this, okay? And it can actually, if you do it too much, it can actually kind of give you a headache, or, so I don't want you to overdo it. I mean, I'm really not kidding you. Seriously, this can tax you, but so just kind of do it, a little bit and then take a rest, and do it a little bit and take a rest. You want to learn how to turn it off and on. We don't want this on all the time. Is there any appliance you want to leave on all the time? No, you don't. Well, I mean, our electricity, but even our lights, we turn them off and on. We hardly ever leave something on 24/7, especially when it comes to our body, right? We don't want to be thinking 24/7. We want to sleep, right? We don't want to eat 24/7. We don't want to walk 24/7. So I want you to understand that this is also something that you want to learn how to turn on and turn off. And again, the more you practice turning it on and turning it off, the better you'll be at turning it on and off. That in and of itself is a whole exercise. So practice, turn it on, look around for a minute and just see, and then turn it off. Okay. Turning it off is going to be a little bit harder than turning it on. You're going to find once you learn how to turn it on, it's actually harder to turn it off. So I want you to practice turning it off, because it really will. Some of you are going to get a headache for real. So the other thing you can do, if you find this to be a fun exercise, and I hate to keep harping, I feel like I'm harping on this, but it's not me, it's the spirit guides. It's just, I feel like I'm harping on it because this isn't something that I do or that I find that I'm drawn to doing. And that is keeping a journal. I'm not really a journal person, but I have to tell you that when I do it, it's mind blowing, absolutely mind blowing. Actually, it's a little bit scary. If you keep a journal of all the signs, the weird ideas, the dreams, the repeating numbers, even if you're pulling cards or card pulls, and that when I turned on this ability, when I flipped the switch and I looked at this object, I saw jagged lines on this day at this time. And this is the color, whatever if you don't get any color, that's fine. But whatever you get, write it down. Also write down, how are you feeling physically? Okay. And then shut it off. And then write down, it was easy to shut off. It was hard to shut off. Here's where it's going to get interesting, right? Here's how you continue to exercise your psychic energy, your psychic abilities. Is your whatever, a day later, 2 days later, a week later, whenever you think about it, you're going to go back, flip the switch on, and look at that same object again. Because the spirit guides are saying the second, third, fourth time you look at it, it's going to be different. So the next time you look at it, it might be wavy lines. It might be no lines. It might be muted. And you're going to write that down. And you're going to keep track. Okay, so again, let's go back to the plant. If you have a plant, you're going to keep track. Whatever it is, I don't care. I mean, you could even do your pets. You know what I mean? Pets are a little different, they're saying, because we love them so much that can color our thinking or the energy that we get. So the energy that comes in is going through a filter of love, concern, right? Preordained ideas about things. Okay, so just keep that in mind. That's why it's hard to read ourselves for the same reason. This information goes into us through all of our preconceived notions and ideas about ourselves. Okay. So if you're just reading a curtain rod or a ceiling fan or a plant or something inanimate object, it's going to be a little bit easier to be neutral about the object. Okay. You could do this with a tree as well. You could do it with your car. You could do it with anything. Okay. But what they're saying is, if you write these things down over the course of, say, a month, and even over the course of that month, you only do it 4 times, that's fine. You do it 8 times, that's fine. Doesn't matter. You're going to start wondering, why is this inanimate object changing its energy? It's inanimate. Why is it changing its energy? Okay, so what the spirit guides would say is that it is not changing its energy. You interacting with it is changing the energy. Now, we know from science, from physics, that when humans look at atoms, they change. When nobody's watching them, they don't change. We know this from physics. The very act of a human looking at something changes it. So let this also be a lesson of our power and our power of our thinking. So if we're thinking terrible, hurtful, critical things about ourselves, then we're changing the reality to match that. Okay? Seriously. So if you're looking at this inanimate object and you're seeing the energy change, you might just gently wonder, okay, 2 weeks ago when I looked at it, it was really like sharp, craggy lines. But now when I look at it, it's really diffused. And that just leads you on this journey of inner dialogue of, I wonder if I was anxious or upset or worried, or if that was the first time I did it, if I had some anxiety about being able to do it. I wonder if I'm more calm today. So then you might take an opportunity to write down, oh, I feel calm today. And then the next time you look at that inanimate object, write down, before you flip your switch on, write down, okay, I had a jangly day. I had an anxious day. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm just going to try it, and then see how that inanimate object reflects back to you, the energy of it. Okay. Now, I feel like some of you guys are still confused about how to turn it on and off, and I'm going to get back into that right now. So how you turn it on is you use the word imagine. If I were to imagine, again, guessing, yes, you're making it up. I'm telling you right now, you're making it up. It's the subconscious, you guys. Spirit talks to us through our subconscious, through our dream state, through our unknowing, unaware state, because the brain is the gatekeeper. Okay? So I want you to get better, feel better about making it up, because that is the language of spirit. Now, from there, from that place of, I'm imagining that this curtain rod has loopy energy, and you're like, oh, well, that's because it's a round curtain rod. Okay. So you write it down. I'm challenging you guys, because I know some of you guys are overthinkers. You're like, of course it's loopy, it's round. Okay, just write it down, because I'm going to tell you, you're going to look at that same curtain rod a week from now, and it's going to be like a jagged range of mountains. It's not going to be loopy. And then you're going to say, well, how can I make it up if it's different from the last time? Why would I make up something different? Wait a minute, what's going on here? Oh, that is the beginning of you learning to trust that when you make things up, you're actually not making them up. You're actually tuning in to an energy source that is completely out of the realm of something that you've thought about in the past. So going back to auras, everything has an aura, right? The curtain rod has an aura. I have an aura. The plants have an aura. Everything has an energy aura. Okay. And humans' auras a lot of times change. Mine specifically changes all the time. Like I've had my aura read by professionals and they're like, wow, your aura's always changing color. So by now, if you've already done that thing that some of us do and looked in the comments and found out that there's 50 different colors listed, whatever the case may be, that's because my aura changes color a lot. I will say, and it was a tell because I said it out loud, when I started this process, I was feeling a lot of yellow energy around me, but I can also feel orange and blue and purple. Okay. So, and green. Again, I don't know if I have that picture, but I have a picture of my body with just like the rainbow of colors. I think again, because I'm so different, that I just have a lot of energy coming and going. Okay. I would say that's not exactly typical for people. I think people tend to hold on to their aura color for longer than a few minutes. So also, again, you could be seeing orange because that is the thinking process the person has, but their feeling process might be green. Their sort of deeper subconscious energy might be dark purple. So, you know, the only way you're going to be able to test this and figure out if this is really something that's working for you is to do the work, is to trust the process and do the work. Keep a journal and just play with it. Go around people and say, you know what? I'm imagining that your color right now is very pink. And I don't care if this is a 6'3", 300-pound dude named Bubba. I don't care. Pink is a color that this man could have, right? Pink. And what does that mean? What does that mean to you? I want you to work and use this as a real exercise. Don't just automatically go to Google for the answers. I want you to feel into the energy. What does pink mean? Because it's going to be different for you than it is for everybody else. The best intuitives create their own key, their own, like you have a key to a map that tells you what all the symbols are. This is a road, this is a hill, this is a stop sign. You want to create your own key for you. Because when I think of pink, I think of bubble gum. I think of bubble gum and I think of chewing bubble gum. And then I think about being young and I think about having fun and I think about blowing bubbles. So if I was reading Bubba, I would say, I might not say I'm getting pink. Depends if he's in front of me or not. If he's on the phone, I might say it. But anyway, I would say, you know what? I'm getting a sense around you of fun, of just having a lot of fun and being young. Because the bubble gum might be my information. Then the more you do this work, the more you can parse whether or not, you know what, this dude likes to blow bubbles. And then you can say, I think you'd like to blow bubbles. And he'll probably laugh and say, yeah, but I haven't done it since I was a kid. Bingo. Now, what is Spirit trying to say when that happens? Spirit is trying to say, well, I think Spirit is inviting you to be a kid again. Okay, so here we got this 6 foot something, 300-pound dude named Bubba, and we got the color pink. And we just did a whole reading based on the aura that we intuited about pink and bubble gums and being a kid again and having a young spirit. Do you understand how you can do this? You don't have to see it. You can feel it. You can know it. There's many ways to do this, but start small. Start small, because this really does, this is an exercise. I mean, you're going to work out your intuitive muscles. Okay. One time I did it. Finish with this. I did it. We did a class. I taught a class, and I do teach classes, and I'm going to teach more classes where we were teaching people how to use their third eye. And you can do this. I'm going to tell you how to do this, but I'm also going to give you a warning that you can literally hurt your third eye. I literally bruised my third eye. I had to put ice on it. I kid you not. I had to put ice on my third eye. I thought, this is so ridiculous. There's not even an organ here. There's not even an eye here, but it hurts. You know what I mean? So here's what you do. I want you to, and now not everybody's going to be able to do this, because some of us are clairvoyant, psychic seeing. Some of us are not. Okay. Some of us are psychic hearing. Some of us are not. Do not compare yourself to everybody. Find your own intuitive muscle that works the best for you. Once you get that going, then you can work on the other muscles that need a little bit extra help, right? Like, maybe I'm not the best at this, but I'm going to work toward it. Okay. So to work out your third eye, imagine in your mind's eye, and if you can remember a party, you can remember a vacation, if you can see the vacation you took, if you can see a picture of your child when they were younger, if you can see a picture of yourself when you were younger, that's all we're doing here. That's it. If you can have a memory and you can see it, that's what we're doing here. In your mind, I want you to see an elephant. I want you to just picture an elephant. What does an elephant look like? Picture it in your mind. Now, take the picture of the elephant in your mind and push it out in front of you till it's out here. Like, stare at my fingers. The elephant is now out here. You're imagining, you're not seeing anything, you guys. It's not these eyeballs. You're imagining the elephant is out there. In your mind's eye, you can close your eyes. I don't care. Close your eyes. The elephant is in front of you. Now take the elephant and put it back in your brain and see it in your brain. Picture it in your brain. Now take the elephant and put it out here. You're working your third eye, objective and subjective, seeing. It's just a higher level of psychic seeing. But I did this damn elephant so much that I bruised my third eye. I'm not kidding. So an elephant is a big thing. Don't use an elephant. Use a butterfly. Use a ladybug. I like the ladybugs. Use something small so that, it's a little bitty thing that you're moving back and forth. An elephant was a big thing, and I ended up having to put ice on my third eye for like an hour. I kid you not. My forehead hurt. It ached. So doing these types of exercises can cause you to have a headache. It's actual energetic work. It's just like muscle work, right? But it's energy work. So be careful with it. Okay, hopefully this video has been entertaining, informative, helpful, something like that. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. And if you like this type of content, please hit the subscribe button. If you hit the bell button, you'll know when it's Wednesday, because I will have a video every single Wednesday. Again, check out the playlist. Lots of good informative stuff there, right? This is just like a class on psychic abilities for free. And that's what I have on this playlist, is an entire playlist of spiritual classes, if you will. So thank you so very much. If you're interested in classes, if you're interested in I have a really cool online spiritual community where your people hang out. People just like you, people just like me, including me. I hang out there too. But anyway, it's a social media platform where you get to post things, chat with your friends, connect with me. You can find all that information on my website, SusanLynnMedium.com. SusanLynnMedium.com. All of the stuff you're looking for is there. Take really, really good care of yourself. I'll see you again next Wednesday.